What's up, Rockstars? Today I'm doing an unboxing of this DC intake for the Honda S2000. DC came to us a few months ago, gave us some parts for the S2000, including this intake, as well as a DC header. Today we're gonna unbox it and we're gonna see everything you get inside. One thing you notice, this thing is 50 state legal. So here in California, you can run this intake and pass mod, so I'll ride on that. Always cut away from you. Good rule of thumb. Everything looks nice and tightly packaged. You know, comes together nicely fitted in here, nice and secure. So this is a cold air intake. Has like a ceramic coating over it. Comes with an instruction manual. You know, intake is probably one of the first modifications you make to your car. So having instructions is always a plus, but who needs them? All your little bolts, vacuum lines, couplers, your carb sticker, DC Sports sticker. Here's my favorite part, the filter. I love red filters, I don't know why. What I like too is everything's not all taped up and hard to get to. You just have to open it up and pull it out. This filter looks very nice. I'm not sure what the bezel's made out of, but it's kind of rough but smooth, like my back. Do some close-ups so you guys can see. Howdy Rockstars, I'm Stack, I'm joined by James, and today we are taking a closer look at the DC Sports cold air intake. I just did an unboxing on it, and I stated that it was 50 state legal, but it's 50 state legal for 06, 07, and we all know S2000s are pretty much the same, so we're gonna put it on James's 05, and we're gonna see on a dyno what it can do. What do you think about that, James?
I think I'm actually curious to see what it's going to do, and even more so for what it's going to sound like. Actually, just you're going to hear the air, but the main thing is people like is the sound. So I'm actually really curious to see how it's going to sound as well.
Now that it being a cold air intake, you might not hear it as well as like a short ram, but we'll get the speakers down there and the mic, and we'll pick up what we can. Do you know anybody personally who runs a DC intake?
Not personally, no, I do not. I think most people like to run the K&N, the short ram, or the AEM V2, which is pretty much a good comparison to this. This is pretty much the same thing as a V2.
Is it? So the filter is 3-inch inlet, and it also has like a ceramic coating. I'm sure that's good for heat. We'll probably try to get a laser on there to see if there's any temperature increases with the stock versus this one. It's very lightweight. It's pretty. It's James.
Recording?
We got to do this again. We're joined by Johnny, our actual tech over here.
Miami, eh?
Now DC Sports has been around for a really long time, literally since
Help me!
Shut up back there.
Oh well. Card legal?
Yeah, that's what I just said when we started this.
Oh.
This thing is 50 state legal.
And I stated that it was 50 state legal. Alright, as I said, DC Sports has been around for a really, really long time. Literally since I got into cars. Literally since I got into cars like 15 years ago. Literally since I got into cars 15 years ago, DC Sports has been around. We're gonna throw it on the dyno and we're gonna see what it could do, throw it in a video. And if you guys like this, we could do the DC Sports header 2, which we also got, and we can run that on the dyno. But for now, James's car, tell us about your car, James.
For the most part, my car is stock, even though it doesn't look like it is. S2000, like the great thing about this car and this platform is you could do so much to it and retain it being stock. So it has field coilovers, the 441 Plus, the Rockstar spec. So it has 1210 Swift springs on it. It's outfitted with a full body kit, pretty much all around, just mixed up Jay's Racing, a spoon everywhere. You know, like it's just random here and there. I just went with what flows good.
Yeah, if you guys have been following the channel, if you watched today at RSG, we go through pretty much James's whole transformation. So watch that. I'll link that in the description. But as far as performance goes, your motor's all stock, right?
Yeah, the only thing that is actually really done to the vehicle is it does have a Jay's Racing ECU in it. So I think based on my research, only difference is just it drops down the VTEC engagement point to 5,500 RPM.
And you recently did an oil change, so if you guys are ever doing a dyno on your car just to run it, it's always good to have fresh oil change. Also spark plugs, check your battery, make sure your battery is nice and fresh. James just did an oil change and that's about it, but we're gonna go off that. Let us know if you guys think if he's gonna make any horsepower or if he's gonna lose horsepower. Stock intake is better. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. You know, Papa's not here. We opened this box without asking the boss, and we're gonna throw it on the dyno. We're gonna see what it could do, throw it in a video. And if you guys like this, we could do the DC Sports header 2, which we also got, and we can run that on the dyno. But for now, let's move on. All right, so there's one more thing I wanted to point out, that this is a performance part for your car, and the end result is you want more horsepower. But does it give you more horsepower? Let's see. So it's been like an hour. Good thing I said let's test fit this intake before we take it over. It's been an hour, he still hasn't put it on. You know, James, I could grab the instructions if you want. Grab the instructions if you want. Now, Rockstars, there's something you have to understand. We didn't ask permission to take this off the shelf. We didn't ask permission to film this video, but we're gonna do it anyways because we're free Americans. Rockstars, that is 100% correct. So if you could please like, subscribe, share this video, hit that bell. Let's show the boss we did something while he was gone. All right, coming on 2 hours now. James is still working on the DC cold air intake. Looking good. Test fit. All right, Rockstar, so the intake is technically on, and we're gonna do it backwards. We're gonna run the DC intake first, and then we're gonna run the stock intake. All right, I just got done with lunch. Let's see if James has finished up his intake install. Okay, Rockstars, I don't know if you've noticed yet, but something's a little off with this intake. I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm going to take this time and let you guys know that James is not a tech. He is a shop helper, and he doesn't have a whole lot of experience with installing parts, so don't be too hard on him. Alrighty, James, some final thoughts. How much horsepower do you think this
1 million horsepower.
I'm at least hoping for like 220, 230.
All right, Eddie, how much horsepower do you think this intake will give James?
I'm gonna say probably not enough.
Not enough. So,
Because it's 4 cylinders short of being a real car anyway.
all right. So your professional opinion, he'll get how many horsepower?
1 million horsepower.
Give me a number.
1 million horsepower.
No, a number, a real number.
100 kajillion billion.
All right, Johnny, you have to give us your how many horsepower? 0 horsepower. You heard it. All right, after only a few minutes, James, all by himself, finished. Good job, James. So proud of you.
11.
Hey Rockstars, you probably can't hear the intake just like we can't hear the intake because James has a Spec 2 exhaust from Buddy Club. Best damn exhaust ever.
So he's also gonna drive it home today, and then we're gonna use the dyno tomorrow. Here he comes. No, I could hear it.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, totally. It sounded. All right, James. Final word.
I spilled on my soap.
What?
I spilled on my soap.
You're so. Let me for real. Did you feel?
Huh?
You felt horsepower? Would you say on the dyno we're gonna see numbers?
I think so, probably. Because now it's like it's getting cooler air. And the colder the air, I guess the way it works is the colder the air, the more, I have to word for it, yeah.
Alrighty, guys, you heard it from James. He felt like 10 horsepower. Alrighty, Rockstars, so I'm headed now to the dyno. James ended up taking the cold air intake home and driving it home with the intake so we could get a feel for it. Now we're here at the dyno. Everybody's saying he's not gonna make any power. I'm thinking at least 5 to 7 horsepower. I'm rooting for DC. All right, James, after all this, what are your overall thoughts?
Overall, I didn't lose horsepower. I gained torque, and I really thought the stock intake would do a lot better. But
Yeah, as all of us did, like that memory card. Alrighty guys, I just want to remind you that your results may vary. The box very well said it's for 06, 07. This is a grain of salt. We just did a little bit of testing and put it on video. So you might get more horsepower or more gains. And also depends on where you live, your altitude, as well as weather. We had a nice cool day. It was probably like 75 degrees, so pretty perfect to dyno test a car. Looks great, sounds great, feels great.
And do not forget to read the instructions.
Don't forget to read the instructions because it's going to take you more than how many hours?
How long?
Yeah.
Fairly simple.
No, James, how long would you say it took you to do it?
Oh shit. 6 hours.
Yeah, 7 hours. About how long it took them.
You don't want to say you don't want to say like something like that. It takes 7 hours to install intake.
No, we're not saying it took you 7 hours to install the intake. This is me and you putting an intake on and taking it to the dyno. All right, so James, you're gonna say smog legal. Shout out to DC.
Smog legal. Shout out to DC.
All right, final draft.
Smog legal. Shout out to DC.
Fucking hate you, James. All right, guys, what's great about this intake too is it's smog legal. California is very hard to get smogged in, so awesome to get your car smog legal and have some performance parts in there. Also, what's cool about this intake is it's pretty inexpensive. Make sure you contact us if you want to place an order, and it's not too hard to install. It should be fairly easy.
Don't forget to read the instructions.
Don't forget to read the instructions.
Do not forget to read the instructions.
Shout out to DC for bringing these parts. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I bet you didn't know we were going to make a video about this. Don't tell our boss.
Bye!
Hold on.
All right, Rockstars, I'm proud of you. You made it till the end. First of all, thank you so much for watching. Second, what did you think?
Was this entertaining for a 20-minute episode? Do you want to see the DC header?
By the way, shout out to Derek at Honda Motive for letting us use the dyno and showing us the results there. Very helpful for our video. Thank you, Derek. And if you guys are interested in getting your car dynoed or just seeing the numbers right there on the screen, seeing how much power your car puts out, he charges about $80. And he also sells nitrous. Hit him up. That's DT Honda Motive, literally right across the street from us. Again, Rockstars, thank you for watching.